Hello. Welcome back to another day of dating after divorce for women, igniting your post-divorce glow up, boosting confidence and releasing fears to attract a long-term committed and secure relationship interview series. For those that are just joining us, this series is your Give It To Me Straight resource for practical and actionable advice that is going to take you one step closer to attracting a long term, committed, and secure relationship. I am your host, Stephanie Flygare, and today we have Lori Abella. Lori is a board certified master NLP practitioner, success coach, soulmate expert, and professional matchmaker who is a 5 times international best-selling author with her debut published book, Sexy Secrets to a Juicy Love Life. She is also a TV host and producer of a of Matchmaker Secrets and Scale Up, which are aired on Can TV Chicago, Roku, and Firestick. Her expertise lies in helping successful executives who feel lonely, frustrated, and burned out from online dating sites. She saves them time, boosts their happiness, and helps them shift their mindset to successfully meet quality relationship oriented matches 93% of the time. Wow. Now Lori is here to provide you with the Give It To Me Straight goods and help you move one step closer to attracting a long-term committed and secure relationship. As we explore this topic, oh my OMG, are there no more good men? How to date smarter for success. So, Lori, before we dive into this fascinating topic, could you kick things off by sharing your journey and what led you to where you are today? We'd love to hear a little bit about your story.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stephanie, for having me over here. I'm so excited to be a part of your show in order to help other women. So, just like any other women in this lifetime, there are a lot of challenges in dating. So, I was not exempted from that. So, when I first moved to New York from the Philippines, the first book that I read was all about this Manhattanite who said that she has have to date 100 men, and I was thinking like, oh my God, is that even possible? And then like I just learned that being somebody of ethnic background, I am a unique person. So
Yeah.
it was not even impossible. It was very possible, and you can even surpass, meeting 100 men when you're dating online. And so the same thing, like I was meeting a lot of men, but nothing is happening. And I was thinking like, okay, what's wrong? And then I decided to move to Chicago. And when I moved to Chicago, I set an intention. I want to meet my husband in 30 days, but I met him in 28 days. So yeah, and I said to myself, if I can help myself, I can help others. So I started to write books, and then after I wrote books, I also have done dating coaching, and then I also have to actually go become a matchmaker because that's the next step. And then apparently, like, okay, an opportunity came. Then I have my dating show, which is all about matchmaker secrets, wherein I invite speakers from uh, matchmakers, dating coaches, success coaches, sex experts, because I'm not a master of everything. So I might as well, have somebody like, tell them about those specific expertise that they have.
Thank you for sharing a little bit about yourself. And I just love how you mentioned that you set that intention for that short amount of time. And it just goes to show that the power of how intentions are. So I love that. I love that you shared that. But I'm a little curious, and I'm pretty sure I know the women out there are curious about this as well. But what do you believe is the biggest mistake people make when dating today?
Yeah, that's a very big question because, like, apparently there are many, many mistakes You know, I just want, I'm just gonna point to you one of the biggest mistakes, because like you don't want to do this. So listen up, ladies. So the biggest mistakes that women usually make is that they're always prioritizing instant gratification. So instant
Mm,
meaning like, okay, all right, I want to have this person right now. So like we are used, like we're in this culture, we are always like babies. Okay, this is what I want. Come bring it. So just like, okay, I want to know the information. I Google it. So like,
yeah.
there's instant gratification. I want some like, food. Okay, Uber Eats or whatever, application they have. Or I want to meet my doctor quickly. So you go to immediate care. So all of us like, be used with that. And so like the same thing with looking for a partner. So some people who have been divorced, they will say like, okay, go to this dating apps and then like find somebody. And so like the problem is that they are focusing on finding somebody quickly, and then they're also looking at the chemistry, which is overrated in my perspective, and then like they don't even focus on the long-term possibility or compatibility for this person. So those things which are not focused on is very important when you think about it. Like you cannot just rush into a relationship and not get to know one person. You have to find out what are their values, what are their life goals, or what are their communication styles, because those are the main things which are important to have a lasting connection.
Yes, I love that, and it's kind of funny because I was like having a conversation with my fiance, and we're talking about how fast society is going. We're talking about, and now they're having drones to deliver stuff and have all these devices. So yes, it's going at a fast pace. So it's that instant gratification now, 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 now. But I'd love to hear, how important is it to have clear relationship goals before dating? And how can someone define their non-negotiables?
Okay, so it's very important to have, you can say it's like a compact. So if you don't know where you're going, like how can you go there? So
Yeah.
like right now we
Yeah.
use with GPS. You just use your phone and then you get there. Or sometimes you want to have it in audio. You ask Siri, how do I go there? So the same thing, like you have to identify where you're going in order to have a better perspective. And so I usually suggest, it sounds cliche, but it's actually very helpful to have a list of what you want and what you don't want. So actually, I reframe it. So I have 4 items. So like, have a list of what you do not want. Prioritize if you're divorced, what did you like in the previous relationship? So maybe there's another person in the relationship, or third party, or maybe like there's a gambling issue, or maybe there is some disrespectful issue. So identify what are those. So what you don't want to happen again, and make it as long as you want, because like you don't want this to happen to you again. And then identify what you need. I said like you need specifically NEED, not necessarily like what you want, because like what you need, you go back to basics, because like when you are going back to basics, you're much more grounded, because you'll be identifying, okay, I need somebody who is respectful of me, want somebody who's honest, or want somebody who is going to be a good father to my children if you already have children. I want somebody, oh, okay, right now, like, people are focused as well, like, their political point of view, or like, have they been vaccinated? Those things are somewhat
Yes.
important for people.
Yes.
So you have to identify what you exactly need. So those are include your non-negotiables over there. And then I have a separate aspect, which is the list of bonus. So are you gonna die if you're gonna be meeting somebody who's not a chef or a good cook? Are you gonna die if you're gonna be not meeting somebody who is a handyman? So those are just
Yeah.
bonus. Like those are not like main criteria in order to find somebody. And so like you come to think about, even people are putting like, okay, I want to meet somebody 6'2" and above. Like, how many people are 6'2"?
Yes.
You can just
Yes.
count them. You can just count them. Walk in the mall. Tell me, how many people can you see walking who are 6'2" and over? No. Like, maybe
Very
lucky,
true.
lucky you find somebody who's like that. And so usually, like, I said, like, you have to identify what you do not want, what you need, what is your bonus. And I want another column, like, in that last column, you'll put there or someone better, because sometimes we forget something which is actually important for us. So, just put it out there, let the universe make it happen, or someone better, so yeah, the bonus of a bonus.
Bonus of the bonus.
Yes.
I love it, but as I was hearing you talk, I love how you mentioned, okay, the political standpoint, or what is it, kind of taking like a peeling away the layers, if you will. So I know that for some, they might have even questioned, or now that we're thinking about it from those other aspects, how in depth or how long should one focus on these non negotiables? Is it like, am I adding too much? Am I, uh, I already know I want them to be honest. I want them to be able to communicate. I don't want them to cheat. Okay, so what else? So, what would you say for those that would like to know a little bit more of if their list is too long? How about what is a good amount of time to spend and think and reflect on this list, on this non-negotiable list as well?
Okay, so I'd rather have you, like, list, maybe set aside like maybe 30 minutes, and then like you go back to it again, like, okay, maybe later during the day you thought of something else because you didn't, thought about it earlier, then add it. And so what I usually suggest to people is that, fold, cut those areas, cut the paper, and then cut the paper which is like you don't want. So I ask you to burn it so that it's out of your system already, because you had cut the cords in
Yeah.
order to let it go, because like you don't want that in your life. So that what you need and what is your bonus, and then someone better, keep it. And so I usually suggest is that you tie it in a tie ribbon on it. So like fold it and tie a ribbon in it. And then like, I usually suggest a red ribbon. So more or less like it's reflecting love. And then put it at the back of your a frame, something that you cannot look at regularly, or maybe put it at the back of your, at the bottom of your desk, so that you don't see
Oh,
it
yes.
regularly. And so like, I just suggest that you look at it when you actually met somebody, so that you can take a look. Okay, how did it happen? Because like because if you're always looking at it and then you're always thinking like, oh, it's not happening, it's not happening for me. So when you focus, it's not happening, it's not gonna really show up, because like you're focusing on the lack.
Very true, and I like how you mentioned it. Well, you want it to be in a spot where you're not looking at it directly every single day on the desk, but somewhere where you can come back and reflect to. So thank you for adding that. So what are the best ways to meet quality people in today's dating world? And especially for those that are tired of online apps.
Okay, I'd be biased because I'm a matchmaker and a dating coach. So of course, like I gotta, be
We
promoting
need to
that.
have
I
pick
want
your
to be
brain.
promoting that, because like obviously, like if you cannot handle everything, you are an executive and you want to save time, then of course you have to have somebody who's gonna be your cheerleader, and somebody who's gonna bet for you. And but of course, like matchmaking and dating coach is not for everybody, but you can always be creative about it. So like, you can always look for quality connections, go to things which are interesting for you. Maybe like, joining social clubs, or maybe attending a hobby, like, salsa dancing, like, that become popular right now, or like, pickleball. I don't play that, but, a lot of my friends do that. And then like, getting to involved with different causes, maybe like, be a part of a board of something, like, maybe some group which helps children or something, if that's what you're passionate about, or like volunteering, or like of course going to networking events. You cannot discount that. Go out there, because if you just stay at home, you'll probably meet the delivery boy, or if you're lucky, you meet the trash man, because like the trash man, I'm just saying you're lucky, because like it happens in the morning, early in the morning, you may not see them, but what are the odds of you seeing just them if you're not going in?
Yes, I know that like there is those diverse range there. So it all depends on like what your preference is. And it can't be any small or any there is, excuse me, there is nothing too small or too big. It could be something as, well, I've always wanted to, I've been working out at home, but how about if I go to a gym membership or take a boxing class, or to kind of get out of your comfort zone, if you will. But I
Yeah.
also loved it how you mentioned and you kind of played like, was joking around, but I also love this aspect of being a matchmaker. And it never occurs to people, what uh like expertise is out there and what is also available to them. So they're like, well, I am so sick of these online apps. I'm burnout. I no longer want to go down that route. This is a viable option. So yes, this is
Yes,
why
yes.
we're here. This is why we're picking your brain. So
Yes, I
thank
want to
you.
add as well. I just want to add as well. Like, not everybody has the time to do this, especially if they have children. But of
Yeah.
course, like, you can always make an excuse, like, ask your friends because, like, your friend supports you all the
Yeah.
time. So they've been there through thick and thin. So, like, ask your friends, do you have any other friends? If you feel awkward, okay, ask your friends, okay, can you host an event? And so, like, when you have an event, you have more chances of meeting other people. Maybe they can have a potluck party at their home. So you just everybody brings food, and then like they invite their friends because like you already have something in common with their friends. Because like how can they be their friend if you don't have the common values as these guys?
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
very true. That is like even like with the friends and family, and kind of see what other options and ways that you can get creative with this. And I know a lot that can relate to having that being burnt out by having the online apps and going in that direction, if you will. But for the individuals who feel that there are no good women or no good men or women left, how can they shift their mindset to date smarter and more successfully?
Okay, you have to pay me in order to all those goodies. But anyway, I'll give you two tips. Okay, so the first tip is that you have to change your mindset in the sense like instead of saying no good men out there. You can say like, oh my God, it's raining men. Because like, that's a change of perspective. You can even have a theme song. Like it's raining men,
Yeah.
hallelujah. And then like, the second thing that you actually have to be open because like most of the time people are just close-minded. They're always focused on, okay, I want somebody who's like, very well off, better than me. I want somebody who's just going to be following yes ma'am, yes 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 ma'am, like always saying yes to me.
Yeah.
Or somebody who's always like taller than me, like way taller than me. You can be 5 feet but you're looking for somebody who's 6 plus. And then like if you don't open your mind and you might be talking to somebody already in front of you, but you don't know this is the right person for you because you just ignore them already because they don't pick what you're looking for. So if you're open, like, you have more chances because, like, the universe is listening to you. Oh, she doesn't want somebody who's, such and such. Okay. All right. I don't give her anybody else who's like that because, like, she already rejected what I want, I'm giving. Yeah.
I was just thinking of what you were saying about "It's Raining Men." I was like, "That is the perfect song." I was like, if you ever like find yourself, and I was just thinking like going and drifting off into that negative mindset. I was like, that is the perfect song to just go and amp up yourself so you're not getting sucked up into that negative energy, if you will. Uh, but for the women out there that feel that they tried everything and feel like they're still stumbling on this mindset part, when it comes to dating, what advice can you give for them in regards to that?
Okay, all right. So, like, they usually have to seek professional help if nothing's happening for them because, like, maybe they have a past traumas. So, like, they can look for whoever is going to be able to help, like dating coaches. You can consult clinical hypnotherapists or therapists or psychotherapists. So, anybody who's going to be able to help you, I'm just, saying the clinical hypnotherapist because I'm also one. And so it is faster. It's faster rather than, going to many, many years of like talking to psychologists, and then they're always focusing on the past. We focus on the past, but we want to move forward to the future because we have to cut the cords of whatever our past is, because we cannot be always going over there in your anger, sadness, hurt, fear, and guilt. It's not gonna help you. So you have to move forward, and then find out who's gonna be there to support you, because it's a tough thing, especially if you're a bit divorced. I can see the grief in
Yeah.
the person. It's a lot of emotions, come to think about, especially if there are children involved.
That is very true. And I love how you even mentioned it, even though it sounds very redundant of actually seeking professional help. But when you are like from a family, and I know we'll share just the tidbit is where seeking help is like shown or seen as like a weakness, or that's not something you do. When in fact, like if there is something that you are struggling with, or even if you're needing a little extra help, seek help, even if it is for coaching. So I loved how you brought that up, because how else can we move past these barriers or these challenges, or even just like this something as simple as the matchmaking? Like, well, all I know, you know what? I'm going to go to a professional. So I loved how you mentioned that. But I know that I can pick your brain for days. But one last thing that I would love to cover with you: how can busy professionals or executives date smarter while balancing their demanding schedules?
Yes, there are many people nowadays who are always busy, 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 and they
Yeah.
don't even have time for themselves. And I feel sad because, this is already yourself that you are, depriving of your love. So, you cannot be loved if you're not lovable. So you have to love yourself first. So if you love yourself first, then you are more attractive. So first prioritize on loving yourself, taking care of yourself. Like, you know, I don't know, if you're a woman, have a time in order to have maybe a makeover so that, you feel more excited. And
Yes.
then, maybe have a time in order to have some quiet time. Because, if you, especially if you have children, how can you have that? But you have to set aside a schedule for that. Because, if you don't set aside a schedule for just for your grooming, my God, that will be horrible. You're not presenting your best self. How can you even be winked at if you are not looking pretty as you should be? So you'll never know where the person gonna find you. So you have to be presentable and taking care of yourself. But of course, set aside the time for finding that person. We have already talked about it already, the different things that they should do. But at the same time, even if this person hasn't showed up, set a time that you think okay, 7 o'clock in the evening, I'm having a dinner with this, I don't know, you can say it AI. So I'm having an AI guy in front of me. We're having a dinner. Set a table for two. Set a table for having wine. So just this imaginary person, because our brains work like that. You
Yeah.
have to put it in thoughts first before it will manifest. So that's the reason why, you have to pretend and play that's the magic thing that I've done. I have already cleared up half of my closet before I met my husband.
Yes.
A friend of mine was saying, why are you floating? Because she had spent the night with me, and then where are you? Oh, she's visiting me from New York and in Chicago. Where are you floating? Oh, that's set aside for my future husband. Really? And then when I watch a movie, I set aside a space for him on the right side of my chair so that there's some, you know, that's reserved for this future person. It can sound fun, it sounds funny, but that's how it works. As I was saying, that's how your mind works. You have to actually practice, because practice makes perfect.
Yes. I love that. I love that how you even mentioned that, because it also I know you're saying it sounds funny, but in reality, it's like you going all in. is going all in. Now, how is it that you want to perceive or bring in this new person or this partner of yours? So, how is that going to feel? What are you going to do? Are you going to watch those movies? What is it that you want to see? But also it relates back. I was just thinking, I had a flash of like even as kids, what were kids doing? They're pretending tea time, friends, imaginary friends. They were also in that joyous and pretending and having all bringing that energy into the mix. So I love that you mentioned that. Uh, but before we head out and before I start rambling on, uh, what is it? I know that we covered so much in here, and for those that are wanting to know a little bit more about your free goodie, do you mind sharing a little bit about it and what does it entail?
Okay. All right. So most of the people that I help are men. So obviously, like, they are intelligent and they're relationship oriented. And they are really ready in order to meet that particular woman. So what I'm offering is for every woman out there who who is ready to be in a serious relationship, and then you have something to offer to this quality man. It's free complimentary membership to my membership
Oh,
site, wherein, like, it's confidential. We will call you once you have actually filled up the form. We will call you once we have found out there's somebody who's matching you. So it's up to you. Either you say yes, I'm gonna go and have a date, or it's up to you as well, like, okay, pass, I'm gonna go to the next one. So, in the end, like in any relationship, it's the women who has the last call anyway. So, like, we have to be, like, be in agreement with the men and the women that they're okay in order to meet this person or not. So, like, if doesn't happen now, then, like, we'll go to the next one. That's it. There's no strings attached, like, you control, but we also give the opportunity to get the feedback. Okay, I'm gonna go to this with this guy again, or I'm not gonna go with this guy again. So it's an opportunity in order for you to meet. It's just like, additional, like the bonus of the bonus. Yeah.
this is I love this complimentary
Yeah.
membership. This is something also maybe something that is fun that you can even try out and get curious. And if it is something like I would never try that, well, okay. Well, let's get a little bit like, how can I be a little bit more open to these possibilities? How can I open up that energy? So, yes, that is amazing. Thank you for even sharing this with the women that are tuning in. And Lori, I always love to leave with asking, is there any last piece of advice or actionable step that you want the listeners to leave with today?
Okay, I want them to have hope because there is somebody out there for you, just for you. So you just have to be, as I was saying, be open, and then, like, I don't know what is your religion, but, pray, because, like, prayer also helps. So whoever you believe in, but, you're deserving. Everybody's deserving of love. So just be aware that, there's somebody out there. Maybe, like, the circumstances are just not occurring now, but have hope, because, like, if you're always thinking of, okay, it's not gonna happen for me, as I was saying earlier, it's not gonna happen for you. So, like, just sprinkle of hope and then smile often. Because, like, you never know who's watching. This is, like, your own movie. You'll never know, like, what's gonna happen. So just smile often.
Yes, that is the big component there. I love that piece of advice of having hope. We always want to go down into, okay, this isn't going to happen for me. Yes, it is. But for those that are listening in, make sure you grab the free goodie, the free complimentary membership, and you can get that by clicking the link down below. And also be sure to make sure you tune back in for the rest of our Dating After Divorce for Women interview series. Thank you for joining us today. Bye.